Over the next 5 minutes, the crew fights to gain altitude to move away from this impending threat and manages to climb again to 11,000 feet. False hope this is, however, as they find themselves in yet another downward spiral. This time, right over treacherous terrain.
Like, yeah, if you could have just landed on flat ground, like, that at least would have been better. Ooh.
I ain't going out tonight. I'm just gonna be in my room. I just wanna be in my room. I just wanna be in my room.
Alright, y'all, look, we just watched the Nexpo video. If y'all don't know who Nexpo is, I'm not sure if it's just a guy or if it's a group of people, but they make like eerie videos, mystery, thriller, scary, you know what I'm saying, videos like that. But this one seems to be like a rather historical, depicting an event that was rather eerie. The fall of Flight 123. You know, they cover things like Bermuda Triangle type shit. You feel me? So this will probably be something like that. But we're just gonna get straight into it, man. If you like the video, like the video. If you like the video, subscribe. At issues.tm on Instagram, issues.com, man. We'll get y'all some fire pieces. And I don't have much time here. Okay, it's 2 a.m. I got work at 10. I'm trying to crank this video off for y'all. So let's get into it. Yeah, editing is always on point, bro. Hey, yo, you
Aboard
can't
a
do
Japanese passenger flight on the 12th of August 1985, an alarm begins to sound. Unbeknownst to the pilots, the plane had just undergone a rapid decompression, leaving them scrambling to get the aircraft under control. Over and over, they attempt to maneuver the plane back home. However, nothing they try seems to work. The airplane is completely unresponsive, yet the over 500 passengers on it have no idea just how dire their situation truly is. On this aircraft, a structural component has undergone a catastrophic failure. A failure caused by a near-decade-long oversight, and a failure that would lead to what is now known as the single worst disaster in global aviation history.
Damn. Rest in peace to all the victims.
Tonight's video is sponsored by Incogni. As we move towards an
That's insane, bro. Shout out Incogni, man. Shout out Incogni. But they ain't paid me, so yeah, we gonna have to get straight through those. I appreciate you though.
It's Monday.
It's Wednesday, my dudes.
Delta Flight 191 is under investigation after a tragic accident. A string of unsolved murders grips a small town in Washington. And across the pond in Tokyo.
No way.
It's rush hour.
Y'all ever been to Tokyo? Be honest. I want to go. Very badly.
It's the week of Oben, a Japanese tradition in which they honor their fallen ancestors, and thousands are scrambling through Haneda Airport to get home to their families. At 6 p.m., Japan Airlines Flight 123 prepares for its 5th flight of the day. This one is full, traveling from Tokyo to Osaka a little under an hour away. On this day, 49-year-old Captain Masami Takahama is training as co-pilot 39-year-old Yutaka Sasaki in a Boeing 747. The two were joined by a 46-year-old flight engineer named Hiroshi Fukuda in the cockpit, and 521 others awaiting this trip in the flight's main cabin.
God damn.
In every sense, this flight is entirely routine. All is going to plan, and they're just a few minutes behind schedule.
How many people normally fit on a plane? I feel like 500 is a lot.
Japan Airlines Flight 123 takes off at 6:12 p.m. And as the aircraft powers through the clouds, the passengers look out of their windows to a Tokyo
Yeah.
slowly fading.
I wonder what Osaka is
12
like. Is that
minutes
like the
in,
countryside?
and they're nearing the cruising altitude of 24,000 feet. And just as everyone's getting settled in, at 6:25 p.m., there's a deafening bang to the rear as the bathroom ceiling collapses. A blinding white light flashes. The water vapor in the air condenses to a fog, and the oxygen masks fall in front of disoriented passengers. All of this happens in a matter of seconds, sending everyone on board into an unbridled panic.
Yeah, a nigga like me finna accept my fate, bro. I just wish they still had, I want to say jetpacks. That's not what it is.
酸素マスク、重宝をつけたって、バットを頭にかけてください。バットを頭にかけてください。乗務員は酸素ボトルの用意をお願いします。酸素ボトルの用意。
Put out your cigarette. This is an emergency system.
Cigarettes is crazy. Cigarettes on an airplane is crazy. It's no windows in that bitch. I meant parachutes, by the way. Cause I'd be fine, bro. Open the door, hop out. I mean, obviously there's no door. I'll find a way.
The crew begins to realize that the plane has become uncontrollable. After being granted permission to return to Haneda Airport, Captain Takahama panics, questioning why First Officer Sasaki is banking so much in one direction. He commands for him to ease up. However, all inputs performed by them are unresponsive. As it turns out, all 4 hydraulic lines leading to the plane's wings are severed, and unbeknownst to them, their vertical stabilizer is completely destroyed. This plane is flying
Why?
with no means of stability, and with that, their task of regaining control to land back home safely is borderline unthinkable. Inside the main cabin, a passenger takes one single photo, in which we can observe the oxygen masks fully engaged. Unfortunately, the supply is extremely limited, only meant to last long enough for the pilots to descend to a breathable altitude.
Now I wanna be clear as to why I'm laughing. I'm laughing because this nigga was in imminent danger, like, and he was just like, "Fuck, I gotta snap a flick." It's crazy. The reason why there's only one photo is because nobody in this situation thought to do that.
What they were unaware of, though, was that the plane found itself stuck in what's known as a phugoid cycle, leaving the crew unable to control their descent, and, in a way, unable to descend at all. Over and over, the craft nosedives thousands of feet and rapidly picks up speed before the nose naturally begins to point up, recovering the lost altitude and stalling. It again dives, ascends, dives, and ascends, all while banking at angles of up to 40 degrees in either direction. By now, the crew is doing everything they can to make their way back to Haneda Airport for an emergency landing, yet the aircraft is doing everything it can
To prevent that. Oh my god, I'm nice. $500 niggas just falling.
The pilots have not utilized their oxygen masks, and acute hypoxia has taken its grip.
Like what?
The phugoid cycle is problem number one, yet posing another threat is the ever-encroaching side-to-side roll of the aircraft. To mitigate this, the crew manages to engage the landing gear, effectively suppressing the phugoid cycle. However, over the course of the next 5 minutes, the plane descends over 10,000 feet while rolling at an angle of over 40 degrees. Effectively, they achieve a complete 360-degree downward spiral over the town of Atsuki, and are understandably losing hope as every critical second bleeds by.
Yo, imagine how that feels, bro. Falling. Like, roller coasters are bad enough, bro. I'd be losing it. What is this eerie beeping? How high were they before?
The plane has dropped to a mere 6,800 feet. They are now heading opposite of Haneda Airport and straight towards Mount Takamagahara.
Yo.
Over the next 5 minutes, the crew fights to gain altitude to move away from this impending threat and manages to climb again to 11,000 feet. False hope this is, however, as they find themselves in yet another downward spiral. This time, right over treacherous terrain.
Like, yeah, if you could have just landed on flat ground, like, that at least would have been better. Ooh. Huh? Was that the plane?
In the quaint village of Ueno, nestled in the mountainside, residents awaken to a lingering odor.
Oh,
In
no.
the air, rescue and news helicopters zoom by as they discern something the locals don't. On the ground, rows of trucks and buses are on the move, while crowds gather and gaze in utter confusion. Yet, amidst all of this, hardly anyone knew the gravity of what was happening. 21 miles southwest of their location, the remains of Japan Airlines Flight 123 are
Damn.
burning and are scattered across the mountainside. The plane is completely shredded.
Damn.
The landscape, wounded,
Damn.
and to say that this scene was grim is a criminal understatement.
Damn. 500 people.
Out of the 524 passengers on board that night, only 4 survived.
They
This
lived?
was the worst loss of life involving a single aircraft in the history of aviation. This incident is devastating, and the most frustrating aspect of all of this is that it did not have to turn out this way at all.
That's
You
less
see,
than 1%
just 20
of the people.
minutes after impact, a U.S. Air Force serviceman named Michael Antonucci spotted and phoned in the crash location. However, instead of making the call to lend support immediately, the Japanese military called off the rescue operation under the presumption that not a single passenger survived.
What the? So he said, fuck it, bro, they
For
dead.
over 12 hours, the plane burned throughout the night. A handful still alive and awaiting help from numerous aircraft that passed right above them. Aircraft that saw them, yet they were completely unaware that help was never coming.
Damn.
One of the 4 survivors, named Yumi Ochiai, later recalled their experience from that evening, explaining how throughout the night they could hear children crying, adults screaming. It was loud at first, yet as the hours went by, these pleas slowly faded into silence. Some fell out of consciousness, some lost the energy to continue, but for the vast majority, this stillness signaled the agonizing death of lives that could have been helped.
Damn. So that's
It
just
took
4
12
people that
hours in
lived
total
long
for
enough.
rescuers to arrive. Yet by then, the scene was a gruesome graveyard. A Japanese medical doctor stated that had this rescue come 10 hours earlier, perhaps they would have found more survivors.
Facts.
But it was silent. In the years following the incident, no one would fly Japan Air, resulting in the company
Shit.
taking a massive hit in revenue. With this, both the airline and the Boeing company would pay out hundreds of millions of dollars to the victims' families over time, a reparation immaterial in the grand scheme of this tragedy.
I mean, for sure, but hundreds
Even
of
then,
millions.
however, guilt festered in the minds of Japan Air employees, as 2 of them, a 59-year-old maintenance official named Hiru Tominaga and a 57-year-old inspector named Susumu Tajima, would later take their own lives, with the former leaving a note with just a single phrase: "I am atoning with my death." In the end, investigators attributed the tragedy to improper repairs to the plane's aft pressure bulkhead, the rear component of the pressure seal present in all aircraft. It was learned that 7 years prior, the same aircraft encountered a tail strike incident during a landing, cracking the bulkhead and rendering the plane unflyable. During repair, the engineers planned to utilize a large splice plate to connect the 2 sides of the crack, while reinforcing it with 3 rows of solid rivets. When done correctly, this would re-establish the full structural integrity of the wall, rendering it just as safe as it was before for flight.
Fuck no. Let
In
me know.
reality, however, the repair did not go this way at all. Instead of using one splice plate, Boeing's repair technicians used 2 in parallel to the crack, effectively rendering one entire section of rivets completely useless.
Literally, look at it.
This oversight was never discovered, and the plane flew in this condition.
And when you think about it, it's literally not as sound because this part is holding it together, but it doesn't have the same leverage. You feel me? If it was held here and here, this would just be you get what I'm saying? This would just be reinforcement. It's just not enough. Like, this could easily come off.
Over 12,000 times.
Wait, what? 12,000?
Over 12,000 times.
Yo, let me know, bro. Let me know. My shit better be discounted if some shit like this happened, bro. 12,000 is crazy. I respect that though. That nigga committed
This
seppuku.
tragedy echoes through the lives of everyone involved and is one of the most unspeakable catastrophes that should have been prevented. It's hard to grasp the sheer horror of experiencing a plane crash, let alone surviving it. Those who did had to endure a trauma and a loss that is unimaginable. The agonizing moments afterward, crushed under wreckage, helpless under the night sky,
Damn.
effectively forgotten in a blazing wilderness. I feel horrible for everyone on board that fateful night, and for the families and friends that were eagerly waiting for them. Oban is typically a time of communion, an annual reconnection with seldom seen loved ones. But for the 520 victims who lost their lives that night, they were never able to finish their journey to see them.
Damn.
Their families awaited those that would never show, and their memory is forever stained by an incident that never should have happened. That night, there was nothing anyone could have done. No way they could have known. But in the wake of it all, one thing is certain. Their memory, their lives, will forever be cherished by those that loved them, and their legacy will forever endure.
Excuse me. Nah, for sure.
Until the end of time.
This is crazy, bro. Rest in peace, man. Well, that's the video, man. Y'all know we don't. I mean, it's images. Fuck it. That's the video, though, man. I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you like the video, man. If you like the vibe, subscribe. At issues.tm_ on Instagram. Issuesversusthewall.com, man. I like how the patrons, they just on the list like there's some credits or something, you know? Damn. That shit is fucked, bro. All because somebody was just being lazy. You know? But I don't know, man. It's just so many things, bro. It's so many things. Cause one, you never get on a flight thinking, oh, like, I'm not gonna make it off. You know, you might think like, oh, what if, you know, but you never expected to just go down like this. And what I find crazy is that it was, like he said, on a holiday where it's supposed to be remembering the people that you lost. You never want to be one of the people lost, like, especially around this time. It's crazy, dog. It's just, I don't know, prophetic in a way. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah. And by that I mean like it was a prophecy, like you, I don't know, it's too coincidental. But rest in peace, man. 500 people, bro. And the pilots couldn't even do anything about it, bro. They dead ass tried their best. But that was the video, man. I'm gonna catch you on the next one. I want to say I hope you enjoyed the video, but I honestly can't. Good night. I gotta get out of here. Yeah, a nigga like me finna accept my fate, bro.